Hey everybody, it's me, Rick Acosta, the Dodger Card Collector, coming to you with another video. Today is Wednesday morning, February 12th. I'm actually filming this late Tuesday night. On February 11th, I thought I would make a video really quick because I haven't made one for last week, and it's just been a busy week, and it's going to be a busier week with the West Coast Card Show coming to town. I'll explain that more to you in a moment. Um, so I thought let's make a video really quick. And I had to write some notes down about what I wanted to talk to you guys about. We just came off the big Super Bowl game on Sunday. I did not have a horse in the race. Congrats to the Eagles. I just wish it would have been a better game. It's sad that they build up so much hype, the two best teams in all of sports, and then all of a sudden the game was never good, was never entertaining, and on top of that, none of the other sports leagues are scheduling games at that time, so it wasn't like, well, let me put on the basketball game or the hockey game, and then there was no other real programming out there, with the exception of the Puppy Bowl. So I watched the first quarter of that at one point, but I didn't watch much of the game. I was more disappointed. Just that's just a sad way for the season to end on such a bad game. But we all know that when football season ends, baseball season begins, and for that I'm really happy. The Dodgers and Cubs pitchers and catchers have reported. I believe the other teams might start coming in later in the week, and the reason the Dodgers and the Cubs get a jump on everybody else is because they are opening their season in Japan in late March. And as we speak, the Dodgers have signed Kike Hernandez and Clayton Kershaw to new deals. So it looks like the entire band is back together for next season. So I'm excited. But we'll be talking about baseball a lot more coming up. What else do I got here? As I mentioned, this weekend is the West Coast Card Show, formerly known as the Burbank Card Show. It's the West Coast Card Show powered by Burbank Sports Cards. And that is going to be this weekend, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There is a website you can look up info. I plan on going on Friday, and I hope to be there. I know I'll be there all day Friday, and there's potential that I might be there Sunday. I have a family fun event on Saturday. My family we're all going out to March Air Force Base, which is in Riverside, California, and they have a very nice museum of warplanes. And I've driven by it a lot. Every time I go visit my sister, I always say, what's that Air Force Base and that museum they have? Look at all those fighter planes. So we got tickets, and as a family, we're all going on Saturday to go view this. And I like old stuff. I live in an old house. I collect vintage baseball cards. I like old rock and roll music. I like old airplanes. I like old cars. So I'm excited about this. And you know what? I'm just literally, this is just all coming out of the top of my head. I'll take some video to share with you guys on the next video. But so those are my plans Saturday. And like I said, I might head back to the show on Sunday. It's in Ontario. That's about a 40-mile drive. But it'll be good to see some familiar faces, some friends I have not seen in a while. I'll give you a recap, just so you know, what am I looking for at this show? I'm not looking for anything that you guys might think is exciting. I'm finishing my 1950 Bowman set. I'm down to 24. So I'm going to try to get as many of those as I can at this show. Hopefully I find some. It would be great if I could at least buy 10 or 15. And then I'm still working on the 1961 Topps high number cards. I need 15 of those to finish. If I could find 5 to 10, I'd be ecstatic. Of the bigger cards, looking for some Morel Meets Dodger cards, specifically Sandy Koufax. So we'll see if I can find any of those. If I could somehow get a good deal on a 1961 Topps Mickey Mantle, I will consider it. And there's always cards I'm looking for. Diamond Stars Hank Greenberg, Diamond Stars Lefty Grove, 55 tops Clemente, 54 tops Aaron, but it has to be in the budget, and I got to be in the right frame of mind too. It, this is a message for all of us. It's easy to say I want to buy 1955 tops Hank Aaron, or 19 or Roberto Clemente, but also, am I ready to spend $1,200 or $1,300? Probably not. I just want to have fun and buy some cards and work on finishing some of my sets. But uh, it's going to be a good show. It's the first big one of the year. And the following week, from what I've learned from speaking to George Diamond Yard Sports Cards, is going to be the last Long Beach card show for this year. They are suspending operations. So that show is going to be the following week. I don't know what's going on. It's a card show, but it's really a coin show, and they're going to suspend operations for the rest of the year. They used to be every 3 times a year, so it's sad that that show might potentially be going away, because that is the show in my hometown. So, what are we doing today? Oh my God, I got big news. So that's the other reason I'm making this video. You guys know I love the Dodgers. I know you know I like the Los Angeles Rams. They're my team. I love them too. Los Angeles Kings are my hockey team, 2-time Stanley Cup, 2-time Stanley Cup champions. But I also love the Los Angeles Lakers, and I am really excited to see that Luka has arrived in town from the Dallas Mavericks, and it's just an exciting time. It's great. It's great for me to see. LeBron's old. But he's still playing well. But he's not going to last much longer, and it's great to see someone like Luka who can hold down the Laker fort for the next 10 to 12 years. So a lot of us in Los Angeles are really excited about it, and it's actually I'll be honest, I'm a little jaded with the Lakers just because they've won so many championships that I don't watch every minute of every game, and it's not as exciting when they win. Just because they've won so much, but it's always great when they win. But having Luka there just kind of feels like, okay, we got a new chapter in the story of the Lakers starting. So I'm really excited about that. So in honor of that, of Luka getting traded to the Lakers, I also picked up a card today. This is going to be my first ever show where I'm not going to show you any baseball cards. I am going to show you basketball cards. I am going to show you my team set for the 1971-1972 Lakers team. In my opinion, and I can already see a couple of people throwing tomatoes at the television, the greatest team that was ever assembled. 33-game winning streak. Did they have 4 Hall of Famers? We'll count when I show you the cards. I think it's 4 Hall of Famers. It's not 5. But looking forward to showing you these cards, as these are the cards from the players I loved as a kid, the guys I grew up admiring, the guys that I still, if they were alive and in the room and walked in with LeBron James, I would walk up to these guys and just talk to them all day. So really looking forward to showing you some basketball cards. So let's turn the camera around. Let's look at some cards, you guys. All right, let's look at some basketball cards. Now, I don't have any stats here, so I'm not going to be reading a bunch of stats, or I don't know how many times these guys were All-Stars or MVPs. I just want to show you these cards, just because I have been building this collection for a couple of years. The 71-72 tops, or the 71-72 Lakers team finished with a league best record, 69 wins and 13 losses. And I mentioned they had 33-game winning streak. And this is the first team I remember as a kid. This was the team. I mean, I used to listen to Chick Hearn on the radio, and with Lynn Shackelford as his color commentator, former UCLA player, and listen to all the games on the radio, because back then they didn't show home games. And then I'd get to see the occasional national game on ABC, and then we had local channel back then, which was KHJ-TV, now known as KCAL 9, broadcasting games. And we got to see maybe 20 or 30 games a year. I do remember that when the Lakers made it to the World Championship, or the NBA championship, whatever they call it. They played the Knicks, the New York Knicks, and they showed those games on television. And that was the first time I ever saw a Los Angeles team play at home. So I got to see all the Laker games that they played at the Forum. And that was really exciting. And now that I'm talking to you about it, I do remember for Game 5, which was the series clinching where the Lakers won their first NBA title. I got sick, so I missed to the end. God, I can't believe I'm remembering that after all this time. So anyway, back then, there were some basketball cards released in these were called 1971 Topps. And I didn't do the entire team set because there are 11 cards featured. And one of the cards was from a player named Willie McCarter, who frankly did not play 1 minute on the Lakers in 1971. He was off the team by then. And I would remember this guy's name, and I have no clue who Willie McCarter was. And there were 3 league leaders cards also that I chose not to buy, just because I'm not doing the whole complete thing like I am my baseball stuff. I wanted 9 cards so I could put them on it, so they could put them on it in a display case. They could take up 1 row of a 36 card display case, and I would put my 9 favorite Laker cards from that era. So because some of the guys from the 71 team didn't have cards of them on the Lakers, I'm going to show you their cards from 1972 when they were on the Lakers. So I'm going to go in numerical order. And first on the list is Hall of Famer Elgin Baylor in a PSA 6. I do remember seeing Elgin play that year. He didn't play long. He was coming off an Achilles tendon injury, and I think somewhere around the 4th, 5th, or 6th game, he called it a career. And he just couldn't play anymore. So Elgin Baylor did have a card. He has a statue at Staples Center, whatever they call it now, Crypto.com Arena. I was there the other night. I took photos. Maybe I'll show them at the end. But here is Elgin Baylor, one of the greats from the 60s. Okay, next coming in, this guy could rebound. I just thought he was a great player. I think all these guys are great, even though they're not famous or they don't have their jersey numbers retired. They're not in the Hall. Some of these guys, to me, though, are like the Laker greats. And this guy, Harold Happy Harrison, I thought this guy could out-rebound anybody in his day. That was an era where the NBA had smaller forwards or centers like Wes Unseld on the Baltimore Bullets. And they could out-rebound guys like Chamberlain and Lou Alcindor. They were great ball players back then. Not saying that they're not now, but these were just good cards or good players. This card I picked up a couple of months ago on ComC. I had been looking at it forever on eBay. I kept finding it for like $85, and I go, this is ridiculous. And one day I went on ComC and found one for $7, so I bought it. So that's Happy Harrison. Let me share the back. And on the back, you get their stats, you get the synopsis of what's going on in their career, and then you get like an question and answer segment here. What is Happy Harrison's real first name? And it's Harold. Good comics back then. So that's Happy Harrison. All right. When Elgin Baylor retired, this guy took over as the starting forward. I would say the small forward, and that is Jim McMillan. I remember this guy. Now, one thing you've noticed, and you really notice it on this card, you'll see it on a few others, I guess the NBA or Topps wasn't allowed to show the Lakers logo on the front, or maybe they were just in the last names. I know somebody out there will know. But you'll see that the players are wearing their jerseys in reverse. So we get to see their last name at the front of the jersey. And this is Jim McMillan, and he would serve his purpose with the Lakers for a few years. He was actually a very good ball player. But after Wilt Chamberlain retired, the Lakers needed a center. And what they did was they sent Jim McMillan to the Buffalo Braves for Elmore Smith, who was a pretty talented young center. Elmore Smith lasted a couple of years with the Lakers, and eventually he was sent to the Milwaukee Bucks in a deal that also sent Brian Winters, David Myers, and Junior Bridgman to the Milwaukee Bucks for one Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But here he is featured in his 1971 Topps in a PSA 6. Okay, everybody stop here because this guy is like my ultimate hero. And that is Jerry West. In a PSA 6, was he the captain? I think he was the captain. I'm not sure, but this guy was my hero. This guy is still my hero. And I got to meet him at this small function. This shows you how far the NBA has come. My family, my brother and I, my dad took my brother and I to Sears. You guys all remember Sears. And in the parking lot, the Lakers had this fair where Jerry West and a couple of other players, I think one of them being Jim McMillan, they showed up and they would give clinics in the parking lot. They would bring a basket and they would dribble and they would talk to us and they'd show how to shoot a ball, how to cover a man, how to rebound a ball. Jerry West and talked to us for basically 20 minutes. There were maybe 100 people, I would say, maybe 200. And then at the end of the day, they sent us over to this trailer, where we could get cookies and Pepsi, free Pepsi, free cookies, and then we would get a free team picture and walk over and the players would autograph the team photo for us. And those were the days. And I thought I was hallucinating, but somewhere out there I saw a documentary, a video of Jerry West explaining that the Lakers and the NBA just weren't a big thing in the late 60s, early 70s. And they would have to conduct these clinics like it's in a parking lot of a major shopping center to get people to explain to people the game of basketball. And I mean, could you imagine now having like Steph Curry or LeBron James or Giannis or someone like that or Luka explaining this at a shopping center? So that's Jerry West. And this is a good looking card. And, I haven't even brought up the font here used for Los Angeles, the pink background, just very psychedelic. These basketball sets are way different than what we would see for baseball during this era. To give you a comparison, for baseball, they had the black borders that year that the NBA did. The Topps did this for the NBA. So there's Jerry West. Now, this guy is more of a legend locally. This is Keith Erickson. A lot of you will remember him. He played for UCLA, two-time NCAA winner. He would become, eventually, after his playing days, so he won one world title with the Lakers, and then after his playing career, he would become play-by-play announcer Chick Hearn's color commentator. He would be the third color commentator the Lakers had, following Lynn Shackelford, a former Notre Dame player, I believe. No, he was the UCLA player. But Chick Hearn's first play-by-play or first color commentator was a very young man by the name of Al Michaels, who lasted less than a week. Chick Hearn did not want a color commentator. He could do the game by himself. Michaels, like I said, I think he lasted a game or two and it was eventually let go. Then a couple of years later, they brought in Lynn Shackelford. Then they brought in Keith Erickson. And after Keith Erickson left, I believe, I want to say it's late 70s, early 80s, probably early 80s, Stu Lance would take over. And Stu Lance is still, over 40 years later, the Los Angeles Lakers color commentator. But here's Keith Erickson in a PSA 7. I want to say he's wearing his Phoenix Suns warm-up gear there, as he had just been traded to the Lakers. All right, here's I've shown you 2 Hall of Famers. Yeah, here's number 3. That is Wilt, as I knew him, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain in a PSA 4. I thought this guy could do everything. He wasn't the player that he was when he was on the 76ers or his time in Philadelphia, early career in Philadelphia. But to me, this guy was a legend. And the funny thing is, to be honest with you, I couldn't stand Lou Alcindor as a kid because I didn't know Lou Alcindor went to UCLA. I didn't know he played ball out here, and to me, Lou Alcindor was the enemy, and Wilt Chamberlain was the hero. And just so you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would become one of my Still is one of my heroes to this day. But at that point in my young life, I couldn't stand him because of this guy, Wilt Chamberlain. Got to get that book. Got to see if that comment is true about the 10,000 ladies. All right, my fourth Hall of Famer is the other starting guard, and that is Gail Goodrich. This guy could do everything. He could dribble. He could shoot. He was a good defender. He was kind of, people didn't look at him as much because they were always looking at West or Chamberlain or Elgin Baylor. This guy could do a lot of great stuff. And he had a lot of good years with the Lakers. And eventually he would leave the Lakers and sign as a free agent with the New Orleans Jazz. And back then, when a team signed a free agent, they had to give up compensation to the team that lost him. So the Jazz gave up a first-round draft choice to the Lakers, and that draft choice became Magic Johnson. So Gail's still helping us out there. And he still hangs around the Lakers here every so often. So that is Hall of Famer number 4, and that is my last card from 1971. The next 2 cards are going to be from 1972, because this guy didn't have a card on the Lakers in 71. He was on another, his card was pictured on another team, but he did play for the Lakers as one of their top guys off the bench. And that is Hall of Fame coach Pat Riley. So that is my 5th Hall of Famer. So that's Pat Riley in a 1972 Topps card. Between Pat Riley and Gail Goodrich, I thought they were the coolest guys ever because they had, in my opinion, they had really long hair and they were hippies. And I just totally liked that at 6 years of age. But Pat Riley had several good years with the Lakers. He also would become a color commentator for the Lakers. I just said that there was only 4 color commentators. There were 5 because Pat Riley was right after Keith Erickson left. And Pat Riley was in the booth announcing Laker games when the Lakers fired their coach. I think it was Jack McKinney. And Pat Riley and Jerry West stepped in as co-coaches. And Jerry West really wanted no part of being a head coach, so he helped out for a few weeks. Riley took over. The rest is history. I believe he won 4 titles as a coach on the Lakers. He's won a couple as an executive for the Miami Heat. And all-around great guy. I mentioned in another video, I met him once, and he was just a sweet, really great guy. He was in town a few weeks ago for a Lakers reunion because Michael Cooper was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I thought I'm hearing stories. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think Pat Riley might be getting a statue outside of Staples Center. I'm not sure. But here he is in his 1972 Topps card. Let's look at the backs. And Pat was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL. I never knew that. So that's really interesting to know. His career started in San Diego. Remember, he was an All-American for University of Kentucky. And he was drafted by the San Diego Rockets. And eventually ended up on the Lakers. Like I said, he had some good years with the Lakers. So that's Pat Riley. And my last card, I picked this card because I wanted some type of recognition that the Lakers finally won a championship. So in 1972, Topps released these NBA championship cards. Lakers are NBA champs. And here you see Wilt Chamberlain, Hall of Famer Bill Bradley. I see Hall of Famer Gail Goodrich, and I can't see with the camera there. That might be Jim McMillan, I'm not sure. But I liked this card here of the Lakers and the Knicks, and this is from the 1972 Topps set. And then what does it have in the back? The final stats of the championship series. And that's my other Wilt Chamberlain card. So eventually these cards, during the winter, not this winter because baseball season is about to start, these cards will take up a row in a special display case after next baseball season, and I'll gladly share that with you guys when I'm ready. It'll be a while though. So if you stuck around this long, thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys really soon, all right? Take care.